Welcome to this Third Eye Yin Yoga practice. Props needed for this practice will be 2 blocks and possibly a bolster. The poses chosen for this sequence will release blockages and restore harmony within your third eye. So grab your mat and let's get started. We're going to go ahead and start this practice off in a child's pose. So go ahead and come to a tabletop position, shoulders over wrists, hips over knees, shifting the hips back, reaching the arms behind you with the palms facing up, allowing your shoulders to settle, relaxing the front body, connecting the third eye to the mat. If your forehead does not meet the mat, feel free to grab a block and fill the space between you and the mat. Your third eye chakra is located on the forehead between the eyebrows. This chakra is the energy center of our mind. Ancient sages considered this chakra to be the seat of the psychic ability, as it governs our intuition and our foresight. When this chakra is fully activated, it stimulates both the right side of the brain, which is the creative and spiritual, and the left side of the brain, which is logical and rational, to work together so the mind can function from a grounded place. Start reversing out of the pose, meeting in a tabletop position, taking a quick cow pose as you bring the chest forward, look forward, feeling the nice stretch in the front chest. Start making your way over to a seated position now. We're going to transition into a supported butterfly pose. So the support we want is to focus on the third eye, is applying pressure to the space between our eyebrows. So go ahead and bring your soles of your feet together, using your hands to pull them closer to your groin. How you stack your blocks will depend on your flexibility, so you might have to play around with it. I like each block on the highest level. You have the blocks to your desired level. Go ahead and fold from the hips and just allow the gravity to take over until you find your edge, relaxing your neck and slightly rounding your spine. As you hold this pose, I want you to think on the following reflection question. Do you have a clear vision for your life? And if so, does that vision reflect your truth? Hold the pose. Backing out of the pose slowly. Start moving any props out of the way. Our next pose is going to be bow tie. So if you use a bolster for bow tie, go ahead and bring that close by. You'll also want to keep one block and place it at the top of the mat. You want to go ahead and come to a tabletop position, lowering down to your stomach, coming into a Sphinx pose. If you use the bolster, then go ahead and place the bolster underneath the ribs, lowering down on your stomach with your legs fully extended behind you, elbows bent at a 90 degrees. Lift your head and chest. Start by sliding your right arm behind your left elbow, aligning the elbows, one behind the other. Turning your right palm face up and pressing your forearms in the ground. Turn the left arm so it slides in the opposite direction. Continuing to align the elbows, keep your hands flat on the ground, and continue to press your forearms in the ground. Relaxing the forehead on the block, applying slight pressure to the third eye. And as you hold this pose, think on the following reflection question. Do you take the time to cultivate your mind to continue to learn? Coming out of the pose, moving into a Sphinx pose before moving off to the next side. Like the other side, now you'll take the left arm behind the right elbow. When your elbows are aligned, then you'll take your right arm and move it in the opposite direction, keeping the elbows in line with one another, relaxing the head and neck, forehead on the block. And as you hold this pose, I want you to think on The following reflection question: do you trust the wisdom of others? Hold the pose. Reverse out of the pose, finding your way to a quick child's pose for a quick reset before we move off to the next pose. Let's make our way to our next pose, which is swan, moving the bolster out of the way, centering one block at the top of your mat, and make your way into a downward facing dog, pressing into the hands, chest to the thighs, hips to the sky. Enjoy the nice stretch here. Raise your right leg into a three-legged dog, sliding the right foot forward and underneath your body until your right knee reaches your right wrist. Left leg will be fully extended behind you. This is a good time to take your extra block and fill any gaps between you and the floor. If you're ready and situated, walk your hands forward until your forearms and elbows are flat on the ground, resting your forehead on the block or on the floor, just putting pressure on the third eye center, allowing yourself the first 30 seconds to get adjusted into the pose. And as you hold this pose, I want you to think on the following reflection question: do you have a healthy sense of boundaries? Hold pose. mindfully start backing out of the pose as we meet in a downward facing dog, taking all the time you need. Moving off to the left side now, left leg in a three-legged dog, bringing it through underneath your body until your left knee reaches your left wrist. Again, using the blocks to fill any gaps between you and the floor. And when you're ready, walk your hands out forward as your forearms and your elbows are flat on the ground. Third eye rests on a block. And as you hold this pose, I want you to think on our final reflection question, which is, can you see that what is right for others and what is their truth may not necessarily be your truth? Start coming out of the pose. And when you're ready, let's meet in a downward facing dog before we move into our final pose, which is Shavasana. Start making your way to your back. We're going to take a few spinal twists before settling into our Shavasana. On your back, go ahead and bring your knees in towards your chest, feeling a nice release in your lower back. Allow the left leg now to go long, bringing the right knee in towards your chest just a little further. Now crossing it over the body, arms can come to a T. If you have the availability in your neck, go ahead and look off to the right side. Coming out of the pose, allowing the feet to go flat on the mat, shifting the hips. Now bringing the left knee in towards the chest, allowing the right leg to go long. Then bringing the left leg across the body. Coming out of the pose and making your way into your Shavasana, whatever that looks like for you. Today, I am choosing legs up the wall. Once you're situated, go ahead and close down the eyes. Taking deep breath in through your nose, exhaling through your mouth, letting your muscles soften and your body to relax. During your cleansing inhalations and exhalations, visualize your breath as a beautiful indigo light entering in through the space between your brows. Each exhalation, see the light entering into your head and swirling around your brain. Keeping your eyes closed, take a few moments to bring your attention to the energetic and physical space between your brows, focusing once again on the indigo light that fills that space. Visualizing a 5 blue point star slowly emerging from that indigo light, making sure to observe it carefully, noticing the size, color, and any other details. Look at the dimension and whether it's spinning or stagnant, making a mental note of any feelings or thoughts that come to mind as you look at the star. Taking a moment to acknowledge and give gratitude to this energy point in your body as you remain in your Shavasana. Start to bring the awareness back to your body as you wiggle your fingers and your toes, possibly a full body stretch, getting whatever you need as we meet in a seated position. Eyes remain closed. Once in a seated position, eyes closed, we're going to take one final breath together to seal out our practice. So hands down by your side, you'll reach your arms up overhead as you take a deep inhale. Palms touch. Exhale as you bring your hands through heart center. I want to thank you for sharing your Yin practice with me today. I hope this practice brings a little more patience through your week. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.